Today we will be talking about the Awoken as we continue our series on the lore of Destiny. Much like Exos, which we discussed in our last episode, the Awoken are a powerful race shrouded in mystery, with their origins and creation still unfolding around us. How exactly did the Awoken come to be, and why are they stunningly similar to humans? We will answer all these questions ahead, so sit back, stay tuned, and as always, welcome to the Lore Lounge. The Awoken, much like Exos, share a staggering resemblance to the humans in the Destiny universe. Aside from their pale blue skin and having their home among the reef, they have an unquestionable resemblance to that of humans. So why is this? Well, the Awoken are a species born from balance and wrapped in the duality of cosmic power. Approaching the end of the collapse, flocks of humans tried escaping Earth and the darkness. They took those they loved and fled to the deep black. However, with the collapse drawing to a close, the Traveler's Rebuke cast the darkness back into the solar system. It was just on the edge of the deep black where these two great powers mixed, the power of light fighting the darkness, and trapped between were the humans who deserted Earth. Where these forces met, we see that drifting spirits were able to cling on to the humans that were dead or dying. The spirits merged with the still lingering human souls, and in this way, the Awoken were born. The combining of darkness and light led to the merging of humanity and the other side. The humans were born again as the Awoken, with two souls tethered as one. And in the words of Mara Sov, "Starlight was my mother, and my father was the dark." The Awoken rallied under Mara Sov, who became their queen. And in the reef, the last place the light would touch and the darkness abide, they built a vast city space out of the scraps of ships that lingered from the collapse. And any Awoken who left the reef or were not born there were considered outsiders, and were not favored by the queen. For the most part, the Awoken went unnoticed, and lived in secret, up until the Battle of the Twilight Gap, when the fallen houses were rallying to fight against the city and reclaim the Traveler. The House of Wolves were receiving their call to aid when they came upon the Awoken. It was here the Awoken had to make a decision. Would they remain hidden and ensure their seclusion, or would they protect the city on Earth and attack the Fallen? This decision led to many battles now known as the Reef Wars. So during this time, Mara Sov was allied with the Nine. So it's unclear why she chose to help Earth in the protection of the Traveler. It can be assumed that it was mutually beneficial to herself and the Nine to intervene in the fight. So Mara Sov and the Awoken fleet took the fallen House of Wolves in battle. After defeating the Kell of Wolves, they scattered and fought in a civil war for dominance amongst themselves. Out of the three fighting for the name Kell of Wolves, Skolas, the most cunning, tricked the Awoken into destroying his fallen adversaries, and by doing so, he reunited the remaining fallen under his name. Due to Skolas being betrayed, he was eventually apprehended and imprisoned by Mara Sov in the Prison of Elders. The Fallen refer to the Awoken as sterile and having two souls. This tells us that the Fallen have a far better understanding of the Awoken than we do ourselves, although the sterile part is still a mystery. But after defeating the Fallen, the Wolves were either imprisoned or taken in as slaves to serve the Queen. So the Awoken are still a great mystery. However, we do know that they are protected by the Queen's dealings with the Jovians, who much like the Awoken were changed and reborn during the collapse, as well as Mara Sov's deal with the Nine, who also have speculations floating around them. One being that they were the first Awoken to be born into the universe, however this is still unknown. We do know that later on during the Awoken's fight with Oryx, the Taken King, Mara Sov did use some of those dealings to put a plan together with Eris and Osiris. In this plan, she sacrificed an entire Awoken fleet to stop Oryx. However, the gigantic dreadnought ship they were attacking let out a massive pulse that wiped out the Awoken fleet, including the Queen's vessel, and Mara Sov hasn't been seen or heard from since. So we'll be going deeper into the Reef Wars, as well as Mara Sov's fate and her ties to the Nine, what happened to Skolas, and the battle with Oryx. All these topics will be discussed in future episodes, so make sure to hit subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video in the comments below. Be sure to check out weekly episodes of Destiny lore as we take a look at Destiny, old and new. Thanks again guys, and we'll see you next time in the Lore Lounge.